And we are rolling. We have UFC Fight Night Garcia versus Onama. And what happened tonight? We're going to break down the card, what happened, what transpired, and what my picks were. I went 9-4 tonight, which is halfway decent. I think it's a pretty good pick rate, especially when you consider you're more than doubling up on the losses, right? So as we get into this, let's actually tap into Tapology. I didn't bring it up quite yet. Let's pull it on over to the other side of the screen, and we have UFC Fight Night Steve Garcia versus David Onama. We're going to start off at the very bottom of the card. This is how we do accountability, right? So we also have my website, actually. Let's do it from here. Plus we have dark mode. It looks way better. I don't know why all these websites don't have dark mode. It's not that hard, man. It's not that hard to make a dark mode. Who else appreciates dark mode? I think I do. I mean, and I'm the type of person that likes light mode. See? Boom. I like light mode. It's just like, this is nice, but like, I like dark mode. Okay, anyway, enough of that. We go down to the bottom of the card. We start off with Ariane Carnelossi versus Talita Alencar. So we're going to pull up the winner of each of these. Ah, come on. Internal server error. Come on, dog. Really? All right. Let me go ahead and restart my thing. I'll just use Tapology. I have this, it's in active development, my freaking website. That's why stuff like this will happen. And I have to cycle through MMA mode, development, and production modes. You're not seeing it on the screen because it's in my terminal here. But anyway, here we are at the bottom of the card. I was going to pop up the freaking fighters. Maybe I'll do it later. Talita Alencar defeats Ariane Carnelossi. I did choose Carnelossi just because I figured Carnelossi, look at her freaking shoulders. Look at those delts. Like, that's a built girl, right? And in my mind, I was like, this girl, Talita, is 35. And usually 35-year-olds with like a kind of small record, I would say, are usually not the ones to pick because this girl's a little bit younger. She's like 4 years younger. But the thing is, Talita Alencar just has way more skill than Carnelossi. So you can't really do much about that. I mean, toughness can beat skill for sure, and maybe that's partially the reason I chose Ariane, because she always goes forward. During this fight, she was constantly going forward. I always respect that. As bad as she is at fighting, she probably should be an Invicta or something. As not good as she is at fighting, I feel like I will always respect that fight style, because even though she's getting battered and bruised, she's still going forward. Unlike someone like Marlon Vera, who, yeah, he gets knockouts and stuff, but if Marlon's losing, he's just losing. He just stands back and loses. It's like, bro, you need to go for it. Stop being so freaking sensitive. Like, just go. Like, all these women do it. Why don't the men freaking do it? You know what I'm saying? Just like Waldo, he did it. Let me see if I can refresh. Boom. There we go. Here's Talita, by the way. Here's the winner. She went up to 7-1-1 from 6, right? She defeated Ariane Carnelossi via rear naked choke in round 3. So that was a good win for her. It was actually a decent fight, I would say. It was pretty interesting. As we move up the card to Seok Hyun Ko defeating Phil Rowe. I chose Phil Rowe as well. I surely did choose Phil Rowe. And, well, actually, let's bring up Seok. He's the winner. So we'll bring them up on our website, is the winners, right? He went up to 13. And I initially, if you watch my prediction video, it's always going to be up here on the channel, Minted MMA. I'm Coin, by the way, for those that don't know. Check out the VPN. It's popping up right there on the other side of the screen, www.coin.me. That's Coin's most excellent VPN. It's run by me. There's also a private option with cryptocurrency. You can just dip a little bit of dollars through there, whatever crypto you want to use. Hundreds, maybe not hundreds, but dozens, or maybe a dozen different cryptos I accept. Anyway, you could, Bitcoin, anybody can convert to Bitcoin. As we continue talking about this fight card, UFC Fight Night Garcia versus Onama, Seok Hyun Ko, I was saying initially in my video that, like, I gotta go for the guy with KO in his name. I gotta go for the guy with a KO in his name. And I flip-flopped. I actually flip-flopped on quite a few of the fights tonight, which is interesting. I even flip-flopped, we'll get to it, but I flip-flopped with Charles Radke, the Canadian guy. You know, the Canadian guy. I don't know why I did that, because in the video I even said I'm leaning heavy toward Charles Radke. That was my intuition coming out, and then I stopped myself and I was like, no, you know, I'm not leaning heavy toward him. Like, I was convincing myself that he wasn't gonna win, which is interesting. Why do I do that? We need to get to the bottom of that at some point, but for now we continue this card. I did get this as a loss here. Rowe, he basically just curled up on the ground, like freaking lanky, skinny guy. Freaking like, man, he was never trying to get up ever. And I respect what the Korean Tyson here did, Seok Hyun Ko. He did very well. His ground game was good. He took down Rowe really easily because Rowe's the type of guy that knows BJJ and he thinks that he's going to be able to do something with it. Like, BJJ guys, stop that. You're not going to be able to do something if that's your only route. If it's your only route to winning, you need to look for other routes, man. You need to train in other ways. As we move up the card to Elise Ardelean, we also chose, did I choose wrong on this? No. Okay. All right, I didn't choose wrong on this one. All right, and I'm probably saying her name incorrectly. I don't give a shit. 11-7, she's 33. Yeah, she went up to 11 versus Montserrat Ruiz, who, yeah, I mentioned like Montserrat's record wasn't good, but I did like her fight style, so I'll go ahead and pop her up here because she deserves the respect. I really respect, just like the first fight with the girls, like these women go for it a lot of the time. And I guess I'm not super into tats, but her tats look pretty cool, you know, like that's a bonus, I guess. I mean, it doesn't matter what I think, right? But I'm just saying, like, she looks kind of cool. And she was actually living up to her tats, right? Like, she looks kind of badass, and she was going for it. She was pushing forward, unlike Marlon Vera. And the reason I bring him up is because her fight stance kind of reminds me of Marlon Vera. They're probably like around the same age, 32, and maybe, I don't know, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. Maybe she doesn't train with him, but I just respected what she was doing. She was losing the whole time, but if you're losing in the way that she's losing, I'm still going to respect it because she was trying the entire freaking time. Unlike a lot of people, once they start losing, like David Onama, he didn't know what the heck he was going to do. He was just like shell-shocked. Like, bro, you got to do something, dog. You can't just run. You can't just keep running like that, my guy. As we move up the card to Norma Dumont defeating Ketlen Vieira via round 3 decision. I did have Dumont. I suppose whatever I picked her for, I could have, I don't know why it doesn't say decision here. Wasn't this a perfect pick for me? Decision? It doesn't say somewhere? Maybe it's not. Interesting. I don't know why I would have picked Norma for, I don't remember. I don't remember if I picked her for decision. It doesn't say, but usually if it's gone right there, that means I picked her for something else. Maybe on accident? I don't know. It's in the video. It's in the picks video. But during this fight with Norma Dumont and Ketlen Vieira, it was actually a pretty good fight, I would say, but Ketlen was very much like a man with her man body in there. She was just trying to play the whole Jailton Almeida game. She was not as annoying as Jailton because she was actually doing stuff when she was against the cage with Norma and when she took her down. In the first, I think it was the first round, she almost got a choke. Well, not almost. She wasn't getting the choke. She was kind of gassing herself out by squeezing so much, but still, she locked up a submission in a sense, like, you know, locked up. She had a submission attempt rather, but Norma is just too good for her because Norma is the queen of the bantamweight division right now. I don't know why I said that. But she kind of is. She's a badass. I like Norma. And she won via decision as she always does, as I mentioned. I picked via decision here. You can, oh, see, no, I'm sure I picked decision. I'm sure I did because I looked at this. It's in my picks video. You can always verify. So I unless I accidentally selected the wrong thing here, but I picked her by decision because she's a decisionator. She doesn't really get finishes. She has 2 submissions out of 13 wins, right? And those 2 submissions came like not in the UFC. Like, not even in the UFC. I think I need to, yeah, where are those decisions? Or the rear naked choke and rear naked, yeah, okay, they're done here. Jungle fight and Federation fight. Yeah, okay. As we move up the card, well, let me talk about this a little bit more, I guess, because Norma deserves it. She was getting taken down fairly easily by Ketlen, but she was never in danger on the ground. And I do think, like, some people thought that Ketlen won just because of the takedowns. That's not how you win these fights. No way. Just like Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida, Alexander won, even though he was on the bottom like the entire freaking time. That wasn't the case with this fight. But in that fight, he was on the bottom the entire time. He was still throwing up strikes and hitting freaking Jailton way more than Jailton was hitting him. Jailton just rested his freaking head on Volkov's chest like the entire time. Like, bro, that's not... God dang. That's the worst fight style. You need to go to PFL if you want to do some shit like that. As we move up the card to Donte Johnson defeating Sedriques Dumas via submission. Yeah, submission. I had Donte via round 1 KO. Sedriques came out guns blazing. He dumped his adrenaline. I could tell that that was his last ditch effort. I said it in Fight Fairy stream. I said this is Sedriques' last ditch effort, and it was the very beginning of the fight. Like, the very beginning of the fight is his last ditch effort. That's not going to be good for you, my guy. He gassed in 1 round. And yeah, I got the pick wrong because he didn't get knocked out, but he basically got hurt and then choked out in the second. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a good win from Donte. Donte looks pretty freaking big as well. He's a middleweight, but he's like a shorter middleweight. As we go over here to check him out, he is now 7-0. He moves up, beating Sedriques Dumas via guillotine choke in round 2. That was an impressive win. His leg was injured as well. That's why I think he was going for takedowns, because maybe Sedriques injured his leg. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened, but he was limping around the cage, and I noticed that, and that was really smart of Donte for taking Dumas down and choking him out. He was basically wrestling with him because I guess his leg was just like kind of injured. It's harder to like throw strikes and avoid strikes if your leg is injured than it is to wrestle. Like, you can wrestle through the injury, but it's going to be hard to move like out of the way, especially if the guy is somewhat fast and lanky and long, right? So very smart of Donte Johnson. I think his fight IQ is not that bad. I don't think it's that bad, but like, the stats are kind of wild. I feel like he's taller than 5'8". He looked big. He looked big, like wide, and he only has a 74-inch reach. That's like Conor McGregor's reach, right? And Conor fought at like featherweight and lightweight, and Conor sucked in lightweight. But that's an interesting stat to me because he looked big. I don't know. Like, I'm curious if this is just wrong. Is he actually 5'8"? Because it's not just about the height as well, right? It's his whole entire body was like huge. He's a big guy, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of his fights because he has a 100% win streak, not KOs, but 100% finish streak and win streak. So he got a submission on Dumas. So yeah, that's good for him. Look at that. That's a beautiful record to start off with in the UFC, if I say so myself. As we move up the card to Timmy Kwamba defeating Chang Ho Lee via decision, round 3 decision, right? Yeah, via round 3, right? I mean, isn't it always? Well, I guess they say round 3 decision because some fights are 5 rounds. That makes sense then. But yeah, I picked Kwamba because if you look at him, he's a tougher guy. If you look at Chang Ho, you look at this boy. Look at this boy right here, man. Does he look tough? He's pretty ripped, but like, he looks like more like an aesthetic model, right? Like one of those skinny kind of models that builds up a little bit of muscle and looks pretty good. Like, that's a good physique. But what is a physique gonna do against a tough kid? I said this kid just looked like any old regular kid, and he didn't fight like a regular kid because he was like kind of a killer in there, in my opinion. He, at first, in the first round, he had been backpacked by Chang Ho Lee for the entire round, almost the full 5 minutes. Chang Ho Lee wrapped his legs around Timmy Kwamba here, and he just basically did nothing, really. I mean, Chang Ho Lee more so tired himself out, because when you're in those positions, it's way more tiring being the guy on the back than it is being the guy carrying the thing. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like, when your legs are wrapped around him, you have to keep your legs tight, and you're carrying your entire weight. And sure, freaking Timmy is carrying both of their weights, right? But it's a static position. It's just physics. It's a static position. Plus, he would lean up against the cage a little bit to alleviate some of the weight of Chang Ho. And you would think that would make it easier for Chang, but that doesn't really make it easier to hold on to someone's back. It doesn't. It does a little bit. Like if you're up against the cage, it does alleviate the weight for him too. But his legs are still wrapped tight. Like you still have to like squeeze and wrap him to make sure you're not falling off or sliding around. But they were dry in the very first round because of course they weren't sweating. It just happened immediately. But after the first round, Timmy just bashed in Chang, and it was just going bad for Chang. It was going bad for Chang the whole time. Chang just looked sloppy and desperate. He was going for desperation takedowns, and Timmy was just like tough. He was a little bit bloodied up in the face, I believe, but ultimately he won that fight like very handily, I would say. And as I mentioned, younger guy, tougher guy. He has more of an upward trajectory than Chang does, in my opinion. And yeah, that's Timmy Kwamba, the bantamweight fight that happened, and I got the perfect pick for that as well. As we move up the card to Billy Elekana defeating Kevin Christian via submission at round 1, 3 minutes and 33 seconds. What a synchronicity there, 3-3-3. Elekana, I did have him for round 2 KO, and honestly, that probably could have happened. And here's the thing. Let's pull him up. Where is he at? Billy Elekana, the winner. Right here. Billy Elekana, 6'3", yeah. And he defeated him with a rear naked choke after basically, you could call it a lead right, but there was a bit of a hook to it. And in my opinion, when it comes to fighting guys that are 7, you know, this guy's tall too, 6'3". But this other guy, Kevin Christian, is so freaking lanky. 6'7" with an 80-inch reach. That's only 3 inches more, but he also kind of looked fat. Like, bro, you're that tall and fat? That's weird. And you're a light heavyweight? I don't understand what's going on there, man. Like, his body looked like a woman's body. There's so much body fat on there. But, like, men should not have that much body fat, especially if you're a fighter. I'm not gonna lie, man. His body just looked so soft, and it just like he got finished like he was soft as well. And in my opinion, like I don't know if this was the fight that I said it in my picks video, but when you're fighting taller guys, you just spam rights, overhand rights for the most part. And sure, like the strike that he hit him with was more of a counter, maybe, but there was somewhat of a curve to it. It was more of a counter. But again, it's the same technique. It's either overhand rights, you know, or just rights. Just keep hitting the right. That's all you have to frickin' do on these guys. That's all you have to do against a taller guy. It seems like a lot of guys that are like shorter, because he's Billy Elekana is 5 inches shorter than Kevin. That's like a significant difference. Like the guy's freaking towering over you. You just spam it, dog. That's all you have to do. And the first time he tried to even land a punch like that, Billy Elekana got it. Because Kevin Christian was circling to Billy Elekana's right. That's why I mentioned right a lot, because the guy is circling to his left a lot of the time. A lot of fighters do that. They'll circle to the left and you just spam the rights. And if they're going the other way, sure, you can spam the left as well. But typically it's always going to be rights. Not always, but a lot of the time, it's right hands. Right hands, man. Right hands. I don't care what freaking hand or what freaking stance you use. Right hands. It doesn't matter if it's the lead hand. It doesn't matter if it's a freaking backhand. You spam the freaking right hand, dog. Just spam it on him. That's all you gotta do. And he easily took him out. And sadly for Kevin, he tapped as well. He had his arm trapped, and he like tapped on the canvas like several times before he got choked out. He was flat on the canvas, and the ref didn't see it happen. He didn't see the tap, but the ref it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, because he did notice that, because he went out pretty quick, and the ref noticed that he went out fairly quick, so not too bad. And Billy Elekana took that W. We didn't get the perfect pick there, but that's all good as we move up the card to Alan Nascimento, or Alan, defeating Cody Durden via submission at 3 minutes of round 2. I picked Cody. I didn't even realize he was 10 days notice. Like, he was fighting from 10 days notice. If I knew that, I probably would have chosen Allen, because 10 days notice, when you're fighting at like a catch weight, they're basically bantamweight flyweights, right? 130 pounds. Like, you gotta really have a gas tank. You gotta really have been training a lot, maybe have a training camp, right? But 10 days is a bit much. But the thing with this fight is that you can tell that Allen sucks. Allen, yeah, sure, he freaking got a guy that's not that good in a freaking submission. But if you actually watch the fight, and this is what I don't get about some people, like, they think the pick is bad just because you get the pick wrong. Like, if you're just thinking in black and white, sure. If you're betting on the pick, sure, I understand that. But I'm not betting on this, right? I never bet on freaking Durden. But what I mentioned in my picks video is that Durden's a tough guy, and he is high energy. Like, he's gonna, you know, press forward. I don't know if I said all these things specifically, but that's what I had in my mind with this fight, and that's what he was doing. He was pressuring Allen a lot. He won the first round easily, and then in the second round, he, I guess, was slowing down a little bit, but not really, because Allen was slowing down too. You just watch their body language. You got to watch both of them, not just the guy you're freaking going for. Watch their body language, and you can tell Durden was winning the second round as well. He did get caught, though. He got caught by Allen. That happens. Like, it freaking happens. But when you're thinking about the pick in terms of skill, in terms of who's winning, I don't think that was a bad pick to make. I really don't think this was a bad pick, and you can call me out on it. Leave some comments down below. I do not think Cody Durden, and you got to watch the fight if you didn't, because you can't just look at this and be like, oh yeah, he got freaking wrecked. No, he freaking didn't. Allen was getting messed up the whole time. He can't even freaking strike, dog. He was getting bashed in the, like hit, oh man. He's so sloppy. And he called out Steve Ursag. He looks kind of like Steve, not in this picture, but like in the actual fight in the cage, he looks like Steve. And he called out Steve Ursag. I think Steve takes that because Allen is not good, dog. He's not freaking good. Prove me wrong, man. I don't give a shit what his record is. Let's look at it. We didn't pull him up over here. 22-6 now. So he was 21. And he defeated Cody Durden via Anaconda choke in round 2. Like, bro, I respect all the submissions for sure, but look at this. Like, bro, this guy's not that good. He's not. I'm telling you, dog. He's 34 years old. No, he's losing. He's losing to Steve. I guarantee it right now. He's losing to Steve because he gets his freaking face bashed easily, and Steve is a way better striker than freaking Cody Durden. Cody's just like a tough kid. That's all he is. He's like a tough kid that's a veteran of the UFC. He's been in it for like 5 years, the UFC. I just don't have any faith in Allen after seeing him getting bashed in. Like, you cannot tell me that you were impressed by this guy just because he got a finish. Just because he got that submission. You cannot tell me you were freaking impressed. Okay, like the finish itself, the fact that he latched it up in the first place, all respect, man. All respect for it. I'm not trying to take away from his win. I'm just trying to tell you that his striking freaking sucks. This is MMA. His striking sucks. He was getting got by Cody, man. Cody doesn't even have power. Imagine somebody with a little bit of power that's hitting you. Bro, this guy's getting knocked out. I mean, he's never been knocked out. He's only ever been decisionated, but he's going up in the rankings. Once you start going up there, you start fighting tougher competition, you getting bashed in by freaking Cody Durden. You getting bashed in like that in your face. Bro, you're losing next time. I promise you that. As we move up the card to Charles Radke defeating Daniel Frunza. This one I can't even like defend my pick on this one. The only reason I picked him, and I flip-flopped, like as I mentioned earlier in the video, I flip-flopped on Charles. I said I'm leaning heavy toward Charles, and then I started convincing myself that Daniel would win. I'm not sure why. I mentioned that his face is always intense, like his face here. Daniel Frunza. Oh, we gotta log in. I gotta take care of these cookie issues. This website is in active development, but yeah, So let's refresh this. Boom. Charles Radke versus Daniel Frunza. So here's Daniel. See, I said that his face looks intense. You should probably you probably shouldn't be picking based off something like that, man. You know, especially in pictures. If it's like in the weigh-in, it's like a weigh-in vibe or something. Maybe, yeah, for sure. But I didn't watch weigh-ins or anything like that. I didn't realize this guy looked so small. He's 6'1". He looked so small in there. He looked fat. Like, he looked like Kelvin Gastelum with the love handles. Like, I saw his love handles jiggle a little bit. And when you're fighting at freaking welterweight, you're fat at welterweight, man? That's weird. That's so weird to me. Yeah, and like Charles is... I don't know, man. These stats cannot be right. I don't think these stats can be right. I feel like Charles was freaking bigger than this guy. Both in terms of width and height. But I could be wrong, because obviously when you're in the cage, they have different stances, right? But Frunza looks small. I didn't realize he was that freaking small. Because the thing about him is that, like, when you have that much body fat, he could probably make lightweight, man. If he was disciplined, make lightweight. Because you look small as fuck, dog. And he was just getting bullied by Charles. Easy, too. Charles was like, nah, man. There's no way I'm going to freaking have a woman's record at 10-6 against this guy, you know? He didn't want to go 10-6, so he went up to 11-5. He kept his 5, went up to 11. Respect to Charles' fight, because like, or his fight style rather, because he is like aggressive and he actually goes for it. I always respect fighters that do that. Aggression and actually like showing the mentality that you want to win is what I like. Daniel Frunza had nothing. He didn't know how to freaking do anything on the ground. He never tried to get up. It's like, you're not even a BJJ guy and you're not even trying to get up. That makes no sense. Like, to me, at least, BJJ guys, even though I don't agree with it, a lot of BJJ guys won't want to get up because they think they'll find something on the ground. Sure, fair, because you've done that freaking BJJ crap so much. But this guy's not a BJJ guy. He didn't try to get up for some reason. He was just trying to like, trying to hit like, whoa, what are you doing, dog? What the heck are you doing, Daniel Frunza? You freaking bum. God dang, this guy's going nowhere in the UFC. I promise you that. I promise this guy's going nowhere in the UFC. As we move up the card to Yadier Del Valle defeating Isaac Dulgarian. Yeah, I did have him via round 3 decision, I believe. And he just freaking went out there and choked out Isaac pretty freaking easy work. Isaac just went for desperation takedowns. The Midwest chopper, Isaac Dulgarian. He just went for these not lazy. They weren't lazy takedowns. He tried for sure, but Yadier he was just too fast and he reversed it pretty easily, flattened out Isaac, and it did take him like a little bit, 3 minutes and 41 seconds of round 1. So it took him a little bit to get the choke in, but he was just basically like trying to find the angle the whole time. And then he finally found it, and Yadier won, and Isaac tapped and looked very sad about it. Pretty good fight, honestly. It's very short, but I would recommend watching that one if you like fights like that. As we move up, well, hold on. No, we gotta look at him on here. It's just for respect out of, we looked at Charles, and we'll look at Yadier, the winners at least, right? Here's Yadier. He went up to 10-0. He's still undefeated. And he does, he gets finishes and decisions. Let's see. Yeah, his last 2 fights were finishes against these guys. And that is Yadier Del Valle. As we move up the card to Jeremiah Wells, defeating Themba Gorimbo via decision. Yeah, I called it. Perfect pick here again. Don't forget to hydrate as well your mouth with some water. As I pour this, we can talk about it. So Jeremiah Wells, I decided, because what's funny is I was talking about how he's like 39, and typically if you're like 39 years old fighting at a lighter weight class like welterweight, it's not really that good. But welterweight's not as bad at 39 as the lighter ones, like like bantamweight and stuff. And when it comes to Jeremiah Wells, I decided to pick him simply because he is more of a killer than Themba. Themba's not a killer. Themba, like, he had that line, during the press conference or something like that, where he basically said that his children are more important than Jeremiah Wells's children, and that's why he'll win. Like, I get it. Of course your own children are more important to you. I get it. Like, it doesn't, like, there's nothing wrong with thinking that. But the fact that he said it is like, why? What's the point of it? Like, obviously your own children are more important than someone else's children. But then he just, like, gassed after 1 round, and Jeremiah Wells beat him up for the most part for 2 rounds. I mean, this was a fun fight. I would say this was one of the most fun fights on the card. And yeah, I would recommend watching this one. It was high paced the entire time. I was super surprised that they kept that pace up too, because it was super high paced, and Themba was just too tired. He couldn't deal with Jeremiah Wells's pace, which is ironic because you would think the more muscular guy would gas faster than the more lanky one. Not the case. He just yeah, he won. And the reason why I picked him as well is, like, people kind of underestimate Max Griffin. Yeah, Max Griffin's been losing and stuff as well, I feel, lately. But Max Griffin's not that bad. He's not a bad fighter. Like, Max Griffin, he didn't win, but it was a split decision. If you win against Max Griffin, that's a good freaking... like, it's good. Compared to, like, Matthew Samuelsberger, right? Like, he got a split with Matthew. That's not good. but like, Max Griffin makes sense. Carlston Harris is actually good. So it's understandable that he lost to him. Obviously not a good look, but that means that he's fighting higher competition in Carlston Harris and Max Griffin versus Themba Gorimbo. If you look at him, who's he fighting? He's been fighting Vicente Luque. He's on his way out. That was like last year, November 30th. Yeah, Vicente's been out, like, going on his way out for years now at this point. Nico Price, he got a decision against, like, no. Ramiz Brahimai, decision, like, no. Pete Rodriguez, nobody knows who the heck that is. Takashi Sato, a Japanese guy, no, not a good win. Like, I mean, all wins are good, but you have to take it into context. It's contextual, right? Like, it just made sense to me that Jeremiah Wells would win, and he did. He won 29-28, 2 rounds to 1. Themba basically kind of gassed in the first, and then he kind of kept up in the second 2 in a sense, but he was always, like, down, on a downhill trajectory throughout the whole thing, especially round 3. He was definitely on a downhill trajectory. Like, if it was a 5-round fight, Themba would have been finished for sure. He would just gassed, right? Although, of course, you can make that argument, but then you think about the fighter, like, if they actually knew it was a 5-round fight, maybe he wouldn't have gassed. But I don't think that's true. I think a lot of the time people will still gas regardless of the amount of rounds, just like Dumas. Like, he gassed in the first round. That's a 3-round fight, bro. You gassed already. But now Themba's kids are so hungry. They're so hungry. And Jeremiah Wells's kids, they're eating well tonight. They're going to eat well tonight, I promise you that. As we move up the card to the co-main event of the evening. Ooh, this was a good one. And I wish I did my dang recap for the Tom Aspinall fight, because I picked against Tom, and I think we all know why, because Tom's a little baby ass bitch. And, you know, no offense to all y'all that love Tom, you always, oh, I love Tom. Like, bro, I don't understand how, like, my point about Tom is not that he quit when he got eye poked by Gon. It's not about that. He was fully within his right to quit. I think he should have freaking quit. I do. I think Tom should have quit. But the thing about, and like, and people are saying that Gon's a cheater and he did it on purpose. I don't give a shit, dog. I don't care. I don't think he did it on purpose. But even if you believe that, it doesn't freaking matter, because what matters is what Tom's reaction was. He acted like a girl. He acted like a girl the whole time. He was trying to get the crowd to be on his side. Oh, I got poked in the eye. You freaking baby ass bitch, dog. I swear. Like, I can't, like, because, like, people are trying to argue with me about this in, like, Discord and stuff, and it's like, bro, you cannot argue the fact that Tom, first of all, he did quit, which is fine, fully within his right, but he did quit, right? You can't just freaking say, oh, but why are you pointing the finger at Tom, instead of Gon? It's about his personality, dog. It's about his entitlement. He tried to think that the crowd should pander to him because he was quitting. No. And he was whining for 5 minutes the whole time. You could tell that he wasn't gonna freaking continue the fight. You could tell he wasn't gonna continue it, which is fine, but don't whine like a little freaking girl. What did Waldo do when he got eye poked tonight? He got eye poked hard. He got that pinky right up in there from Ant. Ant eye poked him. I don't think Ant did it on purpose, just like I don't think freaking Gon did it on purpose, but it happened. And Waldo, what did he do? He yelled like a man when he was trying to recover. He was like, ah! He was freaking angry. Unlike Tom, who was turning into a freaking feminine girl. Like, look, everybody has feminine and masculine energy in their body, right? It's when you utilize it and how you utilize it. And that's what I'm trying to point out with Tom. And people seem to just pick at the fact that I'm saying like he's a quitter. Bro, he did quit, first of all. I'm not even saying it's wrong that he quit. I actually fully agree that he should have just taken the 5 minutes, but not have whined like a little girl. That's all I'm saying. Just stop whining. Do what frickin' Waldo did and act like a frickin' man. This guy got poked probably way worse than well, maybe not. All right, I won't bring that into it because that debate's stupid. I think the debate's stupid because even a simple kind of slice to your eye, like even from a glove or something, can do way more damage than even a whole knuckle. Whole knuckles went in my eye. Like, god dang, bro. You crying ass baby. You crying ass baby, dog. Oh my god, I can't get enough of that. Like, and all the people supporting him over freaking being a baby ass whiner. Like, I don't get it. Seriously, please leave comments. If anybody's watching this freaking video, please leave a comment and tell me that you agree that Tom and what he was doing, like his personality at that moment during the eye poke incident during his event, it was a pay-per-view that people paid for. You tell me, is that okay? Like, you think it's okay? That's what a man does? Are you, like, compare him to what like Waldo went through. Waldo took the time. They actually thought it was the ref actually seemed like he stopped the fight when Ant was like laying down combinations on him, but actually one of them was the freaking pinky, right? I don't think it was on purpose. I really don't. I think people are freaking tripping. I think you don't know fighting if you think all these eye pokes are on purpose. Now, Jon Jones, sure. I don't care, man. Maybe with him it's on purpose because he is like an evil guy and like he's methodical, right? Jon Jones. So I can see Jon Jones, sure, bring him up, whatever. But I don't think Gon's doing it on purpose. I don't think Ant or Ante or whatever his name is, Delija, I don't think he did it on purpose. But the result is the same. They eye poked someone, right? Now, what is that someone like Waldo, and what is his reaction to the eye poke? It's to yell like a man, get angry, take his time, and then get back in the fight and knock the dude the fuck out. Jab cross to ground punches. He freaking knocked the guy the fuck out after he got, and you could see swelling all up in his freaking eye. It was actually the left eye. Swelling all up in his freaking eye. And he wasn't crying about it, man. He was not whining about it. He wasn't crying about it. Sure, he was like touching it. He had the cloth after the fight as well. He was like trying to take care of it. Of course, that's fine. But he wasn't like being a baby. And I think he was well within his right to quit. I actually thought it was going to be a no contest. I was like, oh, this is no contest for sure. Because he got freaking jabbed, or stabbed, rather, in the freaking eye. Nope. They decided, after they watched the tape, the referees and the commission, they decided that the fight could continue. And he decided, yeah, I'm going to continue. And then pretty much moments later, Ant got murdered. That was so good. See, that's what a man does in my mind. And you, like, go ahead and argue it. Please argue this with me in the comments. Please argue it with me. Waldo versus Tom Aspinall. Tell me which one of their personalities in this context is better. Tom being a little whiny bitch, or Waldo being a man and fighting and knocking the fucker out. Like, he didn't even have to win, right? Even if he didn't win, I probably would have been like, he probably should have taken the out. He probably should have taken the no contest if he lost. I probably would have said that because he was well within his right, just like Tom Aspinall, well within his right to quit. He got fouled. You can quit. It's fine. You can quit. but it's still called quitting. It doesn't matter what your freaking sensibilities are. You're still a quitter. Well, okay. Sometimes when you phrase certain things in certain ways, I'm using hyperbole, right? I don't want to call him a quitter, but he did quit the fight. Like, you're not a quitter if you quit certain things, right? That's not how it works. Like, I apologize for calling Tom a quitter. I don't think he's a quitter, but he did quit the fight, and he acted like a girl. Those are facts, dog. Those are freaking facts. Prove me wrong, man. You freaking girls. Anyway, we move up the card to Steve Garcia. Freaking good fight as well. Both these fights, all three of these actually, the top three, I mean top four. I mean, wow. Honestly, most of the fights on this freaking card were good. I think this was a good night of fights when we look at it. Yeah, and we move up to the main event of the evening with Steve Garcia defeating David Onama. I thought he was going to do it in round 3. As you can see, I did get the KO TKO there. I got the perfect pick with Waldo round 1 KO, but I didn't get the perfect pick with Steve Garcia. I thought it was going to be more in like round 3. They were going to like build up to it, and he was going to drain Onama, but nope. I don't remember exactly what I was saying about David Onama, but I think I was basically saying that he couldn't hang with Steve. We didn't even have these stats right here where we could see 15 KOs, which actually would have been 14 of his 18 wins at the time. He moves up to 19-5, and he defeats David Onama in round 1 with punches. He was just murdering Onama easy. Like, Onama was getting so freaking wrecked so freaking easily. And let's look at Onama's page real quick. He takes a loss, his first KO loss ever. He kind of protested with the ref a little bit, but he was running. He was basically running for the last, I'm gonna say like maybe even the last minute. He was hesitant the entire time. He was looking freaking like he couldn't do anything, and he couldn't. Man, like this kid right here, Steve Garcia from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Team Jackson Wink. This kid's doing good work right here. This is the man right here. Steve Garcia, you the man, man. God damn, man. Yeah. I mean, there's not too much to say about this fight because he just wrecked David as if it was no competition to him. Like, he didn't even do that to Calvin Kattar, right? And that was not too long ago. Calvin was on his way out years ago, and he barely, not barely, I think he beat him up the entire freaking time. He didn't barely beat him, but he got a decision against Calvin, right? Calvin's durable, of course, so that's good. But, I mean, look at all these other ones. Round 1, punches and elbows. Round 1, punches. Round 2, ground and pound. Round 2, uppercut to the body. Round 1 against Chase Hooper, left hooks and ground punches. He did get finished by Mahashate. But, like, man, Steve is just like a special kind of fighter because of his mentality, and that's the mentality I like. Unlike, again, I'm bringing up Marlon Vera. As much shit talk as Marlon does, he doesn't have a killer mentality like Steve Garcia does. Like, debate that with me as well, man, because I don't think Marlon's a killer. He gets KOs, he gets knockouts and stuff, but he's a chance fighter. He looks for his chance and he gets it, which is great. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong necessarily with that. I think the other aspect of it is wrong, where he's not a killer. He doesn't want to freaking kill somebody when he's getting beat up anyway. Like, if he's getting beat up, Marlon Vera, he doesn't want to fight back, really. He just stands back and, like, little kicks, like, you freaking bomb dog. Fight like Steve, my guy. You're both Mexican, right? I mean, Steve's American, but, you know, I mean, you can tell his name and his face. He's basically Mexican. And that actually is all the freaking fights. I went through this quick, didn't I? This has been UFC Fight Night, Steve Garcia versus David Onama. I went again 9-4, which I think is pretty good, and especially better when you're actually leaving videos like this for the world to see, never removing them. They're always going to be on this channel, so you can always come back and be like, bro, your picks suck. Go ahead, do it. I don't care, man. I love that kind of stuff. I love contention. That's probably why I love the UFC. I love MMA in general, and I also love you. Check out my VPN that has been popping up on the other side of the screen, www.coin.me. That's Coin's most excellent VPN. There's a private crypto option you can use. You don't even have to subscribe. Just pay a little bit of crypto. You get to access a very blazing fast set of servers, over 75 servers. of juicy goodness VPN, you know, and it's real competitive pricing as well. Probably better than the VPN you have, if you even have one. For now, this has been Coin. You have been you. This has been UFC Fight Night Garcia versus Onama. It's been a good one. Catch you later.